As of the red band protests against galamsey fear the practice will sink Ghana's economy if not stopped immediately. We'll be unpacking the issues tonight. Also coming up tonight, Public Interest and Accountability Committee worried about the low oil production and investment in the upstream petroleum industry. We assess the impact on the economy. We're live on Media General's social media platforms and on DSTV channel 279. We're also streaming live on Facebook. We'll be back shortly. Let's find out what's been happening on the global commodities market today. Right, so as you can see on the screen, we saw the price of cocoa go up slightly by 0.41%, trading at a little over $7,400 an ounce. A ton, I beg your pardon. The price of gold also went up slightly by 0.27, trading at a little over $2,600 an ounce. And of course, crude oil went down slightly by 0.4%, trading at $74 a barrel. Let's find out what's been happening on the international stage with regards to business news. Reminder, this is Business Focus, your most authoritative business and economic analysis program. We're going to go for a quick break. When we return, I'll introduce my guest for tonight's topic. Stay tuned in. We've got more coming up.
This is Business Focus with the award-winning Pakwisi Asari.
Great new design, fit right, reducing friction. It absorbs all liquid to prevent leakage. This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
This is the show that brings finality to all the critical issues. It is the stage where all the facts are checked, issues thoroughly interrogated, opinions shaped, and debates settled. But over here, we do more than just talk. We resolve problems. We hold those in power accountable. We address all the key happenings in society, from politics to health to education, to everything you deem important. And we will center the voice of the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the show that sets the agenda.
Agenda shows Mondays at 9 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news. the most comprehensive election coverage.
Top-notch presenters and well-versed analysts.
Dedicated reporters and correspondents in every nook and cranny across the country.
All the action, every incident reported.
All the big stories covered.
All facts cross-checked. Every figure verified.
Every vote monitored and accounted for.
The numbers tallied, analyzed, and interpreted.
We have invested time and energy in order to bring you a comprehensive elections coverage.
The whole world will be watching us on TV, online, and radio.
Election Command Center. Facts, analysis, results.
This is Hot Issues, your passport to the most compelling conversations of our time. We go one-on-one with the movers and shakers, the thought leaders, and the game changers. We ask the questions that matter, and we don't back down.
Tonight on Hot Issues, I sit with the man at the center of corruption investigations.
Join me on Hot Issues here on TV3.
Hot Issues shows Sundays at 2 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news. This is Key Points, the #1 award-winning television news analysis program, providing an enlightened analysis of the key issues facing us as a country. The key points of the stories that matter with the people who matter. This is Key Points, the #1 award-winning television news analysis program, every Saturday, 7 a.m. on TV3 and on 3FM 92.7. TV3, first in news.
In a world where stories come alive, where dreams and reality intertwine, where drama ignites our souls and action sends pulses racing, we journey through realms uncharted, scenes unscripted, moments untamed. Here, the heartbeats of heroes echo in epic clashes, battles of will and might. Fields and courts become our stage. Our victory and defeat dance their eternal tango. Reality reveals its many faces, raw and unfiltered. Life in its purest form. Current affairs capture the pulse of our world, unfolding the truths that shape our days. Every frame, a universe. Every genre, a new adventure. A mosaic of human spirits captured in the lens, painted with light and shadow. This is our symphony of stories, a celebration of life in its colors. This is TV3.
Right, welcome back to Business Focus, your most authoritative business and economic analysis program live here on TV3. My name is Parkwisi Asari. And I told you about the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey declaring a nationwide red band protest, which started on October 10. Shortly, I'll be speaking to some leading members of this group to hear more from them on why they began this whole protest. Of course, it has to do with the devastating consequences of illegal mining in Ghana and its far-reaching implications. Now, this disruptive practice is wreaking havoc on the country's forests, farmlands, and water systems. Now, the use of heavy machinery is disseminating natural habitats, polluting rivers, and contaminating drinking water. The environmental damage caused by galamsey is not only a threat to biodiversity, but also a public health crisis. Now, the practice has led to widespread water scarcity, contaminated farmlands, and increased illness among local communities. Despite numerous efforts to curb this illegal activity, the problem continues to escalate, exacerbating its negative impact on Ghana's environment and economy. Now, to address this pressing matter, it is imperative for all stakeholders, including government officials, mining companies, and civil society organizations, to prioritize environmental protection over political interest. My guest on the program tonight is Frank Braku-Edu. He is a former managing director of Cal Bank, and he's going to help us do this discussion. Later, we'll be joined by Senyo Hossi, who's also a member of the Red Band protest against galamsey. Mr. Edu, good evening to you and welcome to Business Focus.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your listeners.
Right. So the Red Band protest against galamsey. Why did you first of all decide to come up with this? Is it a pressure group? Is it a pro-anti-galamsey, pressure group? What is it? What exactly is it?
It's an advocacy group. We do not intend to hit the streets, but our intention is, we are well aware that government, in its wisdom, is aware of the damaging effects of galamsey. And so it is not for us to tell them that galamsey is damaging the environment, our water bodies, our forest bodies, etc., our forest reserves, etc. So to the extent that government seems to be dragging its feet on solving this debilitating canker, we thought that we would come, fair-minded people, we're not a political group, we would come together and make every effort to convince government that it is wise to solve this galamsey problem once and for all. So we're an advocacy pressure group. The Red Band protest is a very silent, but I believe powerful signal, particularly if we're able to get the rank and file of the populace to join us. Can you imagine the impact that we would have if 50% of the cars in Accra, just even Accra, had red flags, red bands on their cars, and people wore red bands or something red every day? That will send a very powerful message to government that it is the majority of the people want galamsey to end, because galamsey is damaging of the human race. It is cliched, it is an existential threat. You cannot damage your water bodies. Water is a finite resource. You spoil it, it's not replaced. So how do you allow anybody to put a mining piece of equipment on a river and pollute the river with heavy metals and chemicals? It's mindless. It doesn't make sense to me, So we just want to bring government's attention. We know that they are aware of it. We want to draw their attention further to this canker, and that it should be stopped, and stopped immediately.
Now, how do you respond to those who say that the practice of galamsey did not begin today? I mean, in the lead up to the 2016 elections, we know galamsey was very rife. We didn't hear people like you or other pressure groups. It's just a few months to the 2024 general elections, and then we begin to see all these pressure. How do you respond to those who say that this perhaps is just some kind of political gimmick?
Obviously, unfortunately, it is only the lazy who always play this political card. Frankly, I am tired. I am really sick and tired of people being categorized as either NDC or NPP. That doesn't make sense to me. There are people who do not wake up in the morning and think of NPP or NDC. There are people who are fair-minded human beings, reasonable thinking human beings who know what is right and what is wrong. In any case, I have been speaking against galamsey for over 10 years. It is not for me a political issue. But let me tell you something. Under colonial rule and under Kwame Nkrumah, they both recognized that, and galamsey has been around for over 100 years, but they both recognized that gold on the surface must be left alone. Gold underground must be mined. Because if you mine the gold on the surface, you destroy topsoil, you therefore reduce your ability to produce food for your sustenance. That is why we've always had gold mined underground. But even with alluvial mining, there were designated areas and it was controlled. You cannot tell me that the extent 40% of your water bodies, I'm told, have been affected by this menace. A law was passed, LI 2462, which opened up forest reserves to this dastardly act. And we speak against it, and you say it's political. No, it's not political. It's my survival. When you don't have potable water to drink, when you don't have clean water to drink, you cannot manufacture clean water. And 99.9% of the people of this country cannot afford to import water from Dubai and South Africa, as some people are doing now for that. So we speak against it, not because we're a political pressure group, no, but because it is a sensible thing to do. It is a humane thing to do. It is a wise thing to do.
I mean, one would ask, you are a seasoned banker. What's the place of a banker in activities of, anti-galamsey? Why are you leading this campaign as a banker? What are the implications of this possibly on a banking industry?
As far as I can remember, in the past 4 years or so, the most banking I have done is to write a check on my account. I was a banker 5 years ago. Now I'm retired and I'm interested in other things. But like I said, it's not about being a banker or an ex-banker. It's about doing what is right. We are killing the country. It's wrong. Galamsey is wrong. We are killing the country. And it is just a few people who have been protected. Look, the Operation Halt was on the Brim River, last week?
That's right. That's right.
Today, they moved on. Today, the champagnes are back on the Brim River at Enyinem. What's that? Is that papering over the cracks? You understand me? Why hasn't, if there is a police post there and there's a chief there, why haven't they gone to arrest the police commander in Enyinem or the district police commander and the chiefs there? The chiefs, they are human beings like us, and this fight must not spare anybody. It doesn't matter whose ox is God, because you cannot allow a set of people, a few people, out of their selfish need to poison all of us. Why hasn't, or whatever it is, issued instructions for the police commander in Enyinem and the chief of it to be arrested? And if the champagnes were destroyed, did they produce these champagnes overnight and put them back on the river? It's a farce. Let's be serious about this. And I believe, look, if you want to get political, I think that Galamsey has reached the point where if you stand for Galamsey, you will lose your election. If you fight Galamsey, you will win the election.
Did you just say that?
I think so. Look, there's no reason why anybody who's thinking should vote for somebody who is doing Galamsey. I believe that the politicians who stand up against Galamsey will prevail because it's the right thing.
How are they going to do this?
I'm not a politician, I don't know. Just denounce it and fight it. Apia Kubi is fighting Galamsey in his constituency openly, and I respect him for that.
But Mr. Frank, to be fair to the president, we indeed saw him, after he won power in 2016, put up a very fierce campaign against galamsey with the then Minister for Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu. And we saw what they did between 2017 and 2020. He indeed has put his presidency on the line to fight galamsey.
I think Senor will answer that question.
Senor, Mr. Frank, I do want you to answer this question.
You're muted.
I don't believe you even believe your own question, my brother. Does this president look like anybody who has put his presidency on the line? I must admit, in the early days when he actually indicated that he was putting his presidency on the line, he actually did a lot of good work. All right, but somehow he had to somewhat backtrack. He didn't have to, but he chose to backtrack. After the 2020 elections, he's of the view, and his colleagues from his party are of the view, that it cost them seats in parliament. And I sit back and I realize how warped our political class actually are. That you are willing to trade the lives of your citizens, your children, your children's children, because of what? Seats for 4 years. You're a joke. What you should have been doing is to actually be calling out the opposition if they were rather taking up an alternate irresponsible position on the matter, and they failed to do that. So the president, who is out by 6th January, unwilling to correct things, cannot be a president that is fit to retain his office. I'm very disappointed in him. He is not a president who has opted to put his presidency on the line. His job is not to put his presidency on the line. His job is to do the job and protect the good people of Ghana. That is the job. Whether your presidency is on the line or not, for God's sake, you don't even have any presidency on any line anymore, apart from your mandate today to the people of Ghana. And he has failed to do that. And he is not committed to do that. And I can't believe that an octogenarian, 80 years plus, you behaving like this. What would be the judgment of posterity about your time? I mean, what? You saw the pictures going around. This galamsey water sachet. Is that what your children should be
But Senor, I've got to throw this question back to you. I asked the same question of Mr. Frank Edu. Galamsey did not start today. Illegal mining did not start today. In fact, prior to the 2016 elections, there were reports about illegal mining very, very rife. We didn't hear people like you jump on the bandwagon and hold the president to account. Why are you coming up at this time, just 2 months to an election?
You see, it's an unfortunate question. For starters, answer this question. Why did the president even find a reason to even say he was going to put his presidency on the line in his first term? Because it had become a big matter at the time. And it was the media, the likes of Ken Ashigbe, the likes of yourselves, Sam Atamensa and co, Bernard Avle, the advocacy they put, the likes they brought to bear, the likes of Erastus Asariodonko, the likes of multimedia, Samson Ladi, the work they did to bring light to bear on the matter. That's what got all of us to join the campaign then. Now, we sit back and we sit in Accra, erroneously thinking that things seem to be going on okay. We have a military that's there, Operation Vanguard, Operation Hot, Operation this, Operation that, only to come and see that the Ghana Water Company Limited issues a statement to tell us that they are dealing with a 14,000 turbidity level when their systems are supposed to deal with 2,000. And now we start seeing proper pictures to tell us, showing us that our rivers are practically gone. I'm telling you, I speak to military officers, senior military officers, and they practically tell us that we don't have rivers, we are close to not having rivers anymore. What will be the source of water for all of our people? And you want me to say, wait for an election to die? Is that what you are telling me to do? Is that what you want to do? You are willing to die between now and then. And who tells you that the next government is necessarily come to fix it if you don't start fighting it now? If you have a president like Nanado, the most powerful president, equal only to Rawlings under this Fourth Republic, unwilling or unable to actually deal with the matter, what makes you think that I think that Mahama or Bamia are the ones who have the capacity to do it? If we can't do it now and save the future for our children and children's children tomorrow, then what kind of citizens are we? What kind of human beings are we in the first place? We might as well mortgage this country and give it to some white man to come and run, because we don't even care about our own selves or love ourselves enough to protect that which is a basic need, like water. In those days, when we were even shouting galamsey, were the water levels and the turbidity levels like what you see? You should answer that question, Pakwesi. Have you seen this level of poor and high turbidity before, like you see today? Have you seen it? Answer the question. You're a journalist more than myself. Tell me.
Unfortunately, I do the questions. I don't take questions.
I don't care whether I do the questions. You're a Ghanaian. That's the first thing you should remember. So don't sit there and tell me that you do questions. Have you seen, and tell the people whether you have seen water as brown as we see today, as then when we started the campaign and we're fighting this in 2016 and 2017.
Senor,
have you seen it any brown?
Senor, I'll come back
to you. Tell the people.
I'll come back to you, Senor. Mr. Frank,
come to your own self. Answer the question.
Senor, I'll come back to you on this. Mr. Frank, I mean, we've seen a number of policies being introduced by the government. Lately, organized labor had threatened a strike action. They backtracked on that. We've just seen or heard from you and your group calling for red armbands and all that. Is this really the way to fight galamsey? Are we really going to see some results from all the pressure we're seeing, labor, yourselves, or is there more to be done?
I don't think it's a short-term fight. The only thing is that we need to be urgent about how we deal with it. That is the problem, and we don't seem to have any urgency. So our advocacy is to bring some urgency and some pressure to bear on government to deal with this thing resolutely. Look, we are in the 21st century, okay? And we are in the year of SDG goals. And yet, we pay lip service to this galamsey problem. We do. And Senor has stated it more bluntly than I ever could. And do you know the SDG Goal 6? The title for SDG Goal 6.
Tell me about it.
It's clean water and sanitation. SDG, and we have a role as a country in SDG goals, okay? Now, the overarching objective of SDG goals in its entirety is, and I'm going to quote, is to ensure social inclusion, protect the environment, and foster economic growth. You are not protecting the environment. You are not, but the galamsey is actually dividing, it's not ensuring social inclusion. You know, and your SDG 6 says that you must ensure clean water and sanitation. And yet, as a people, led by inaction of our government, what we are doing is polluting, willingly polluting our waters. That is a crying shame. You know, and it's genocide. We are killing people. And it's not this, you see, the thing about this, when I see people who are apathetic towards the fight on galamsey, I wonder, even if you have a borehole in your house and you have a reverse osmosis system in place, understand that water flows in aquifers underground. And the fact that it is Pra or whatever river in the north, which is polluted, does not mean that that water will not find its way to Accra and into your borehole. You understand me?
Right.
So you're not safe. Nobody is safe. All 33, 34 million of us are impacted. We are at risk. So I don't see how people can sit there and be apathetic. This is not a political fight. And I actually expected that if it was to diffuse this political issue, Parliament, led by the Speaker of Parliament, would issue a statement in support of the fight against galamsey as a whole. You understand? And ignore those MPs who are making all these funny statements on how to deal with it and all those. I don't know the adjective. I don't want to use any strong adjectives here. But our point is very simple. This thing is going to kill us. And when you see a threat, you protect yourself against the threat. If you know armed robbers are going to attack you today, you get ready to fight them when they come and to actually extinguish them. So why do we see galamsey killing us and you think that when we want to fight it, we are being political or we are being unreasonable? I just don't get that logic. You understand me?
Right.
And let me say this again. It is only the lazy people who would say that what we are doing is political because of the timing. No. That business of solving problems and answering issues in this country is crass.
And you reject that. You reject that proposition.
100%. Super crass.
You reject that proposition.
Absolutely. I don't wake up and think NDC or MPP. No.
Senor,
I do not.
Senor, you've talked. I've heard comments like, yes, Senor. Yes, Senor.
When you want to drink water, do you look at the water whether it's NDC or NPP before you drink?
I don't, Senor. I don't.
What are we talking about? You just said with a friend, you're that is nonsense. It's total crass.
But Senor, I've heard comments like government complicity. I've heard comments like the president unable and unwilling. But this is a president who ordered the seizure and banning of excavators running into millions of dollars. He ordered the banning of these excavators. Now, what could have been more draconian than this? He put in place ministerial task force headed by Frimpong.
It's a joke. It's not, please. I beg you, let's get serious here. What is at stake here is not another simple thing. This matter is way more important than the DDP and even COVID. This president was able to order and get the whole Ghanaian population to sit in their house for 2 weeks. This president, he was able to do it. He brought the whole Ghana to a standstill because of some disease. That's what white man said was everywhere and we're watching on TV. That is what he did for COVID. And then now we have a reality, a risk, a disease that is dealing with us right here in our face that we ourselves can see. And you are telling me that this president was able to bring the country to a standstill, cannot deal with it. My brother, why? If you want to deal with it, you deal with it effectively. We can't say today as we sit here, the president and the security minister don't know the people behind galamsey. The people behind galamsey are not those boys who are sitting there, who are getting 1,000 or 2,000 cedis a month. How much money are they getting? How are the chamfans being bought? How are the chamfans being fueled? How are the excavators being funded? Who is supplying it to them? They are just workers. So they are just workers. And you want to tell me that the president doesn't know? It's a lie. I can say on authority that he knows. His ministers know. And for God's sake, give me some credit. I've been an advisor to opposing governments, yesterday and today's government. My relationships are deep. I speak to every single minister who matters in the matter. I have relationships all across. I'm telling you, they know. The NDC people know. The MPP people know. All of them are doing nothing about it because they're all beneficiaries of it. That is what the problem is. The anger that you see us exhibit here is same anger that sometimes goes on in cabinet. Today, I'm telling you, we are not more concerned than some of the people, also responsible people you have in cabinet. But why is it that nothing is being done? Because the political will does not exist. How many rivers do you have? And you tell me you send 100 men to go and deal with one river. You are going to catch people. You start announcing that I'm coming to catch you at this place. I will come at this time so that I'll come and catch you. Which policeman catches anybody like that? I'm sure you have seen Adam Strem's pictures that are on Facebook and social media now. All the people on the brim, they are back. They are back. So what did the military go and do there? What machines did they really go and burn there? We don't know the people behind it. We don't know the fuel suppliers behind it. We don't know the mercury suppliers behind it. We don't know the equipment suppliers behind it. We don't know the owners of the operation. Then we are a failed state. That's what we need to understand. It means anybody can come tomorrow and just start a civil war and be gone. One thing that unfortunately we don't realize is that we have deepened by virtue of our political comatosis, I think, on the matter. We have actually built and deepened a black economy that has seized our government. That a Nanado can lose his own sense of power and reason and not act in a decisive matter in such an existential issue as this. It's a big risk. These people have AK-47. The town called Dollar Town is not governed by Ghana. The president has no control. Send the soldiers, they will sack them. They are more armed. Very soon, we will not have a Ghana. A civil war can easily break out because it will be funded by these kinds of people who do not care. And ask them, all those people, their children are abroad, and we are sitting here trying to fight for water for our own survival. Very soon, social services are going to be short in those areas because the people, teachers that go there can't have water, proper water to live with. You saw the videos. They were played on your own network. This teacher is there. Look at the water she's drinking. She's young. What kind of children will she have? One day she will tell herself, I can't stay here. Who will teach the children in there? The medical doctors, they will tell themselves, I can't stay here. Who will take care of the people in there? So will the nurses over time. We are creating and destroying our own country right in our faces, and we want to be passive about it. We are a bunch of irresponsible people, but some of us do not opt to be irresponsible people. Look at me, somebody like Mr. Frankedu. He's a very private person, but this matter is a serious matter. He can't be seated. He can't be seated, and he's out. So middle class people out there, you must know you're on your own. We must all join the protest and let the political class know that there is power within here, and we are going to fight for the soul of our country. And we are starting with this short protest, but it can escalate because we have to fight for our future. It is not child's play at this time anymore. It's not a regular conversation anymore. It is about our own mutual survival.
I'm going to take wrap-up comments from both of you. I'll start off with you, Senyo. So the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, you had earlier declared a nationwide red band protest from October 10. What exactly do you want to see? I'll start off with you, Senyo.
What we want, we've made some requests already. Government should declare state of emergency. Shut down the whole areas. Go and deal with this matter. Eradicate the people. Put before it's all the key people they know already are responsible for galamsey. Deal with the supply chain that facilitates galamsey. Put a ban on any fuel supply to any kind of galamsey site. Every single one, every single filling station there should be able to be dealt with. If they sit and they come out with a strategic solution, dealing with it line by line, from the equipment, banning the movement of such equipment into those areas. It monitors and deals with it, deals with customs, deals with the harbor people. I'm telling you, and send the right number of military people into the space. All the rivers, deploy men on them immediately, sizable men. Do you know that we had some river guards who were trained and we bought equipment for them and we never deployed them? Are you aware? Are you aware?
You're telling me, Senyo.
I'm telling you, the state did that. Nanado did that and never deployed them. We use state resources to acquire all these things, set up a river guard body or of some sort. We never deployed them. Why did we never deploy them? It is the lack of political will. Let's get the military to go out there, deal with them, get the police to go out there and put in proper accountability system. This country, when you want to solve a problem, you will solve it too. Because all power sits largely with our president. If he wants to solve it, I know Nanado is more powerful than any of the president, Mahama and any classmates. Kufuor was great, but forget on any classmate. The only person who can match Nanado as far as power and control in this country is concerned is only Rawlings. So if he is not willing to do it, we are doomed. And the only thing we can do is for us to fight. So please, everybody where you are, join the red band. Wear something red. Tie red bands to your cars, Monday to Thursday. And every Friday, wear a red dress. When they start seeing millions of people protesting, they know that one day we can run them over like Sri Lanka, which nobody wants. So if they don't want that, they would rather put their act together and save the future of our children and our children's children. Thank you.
Mr. Frankedu, I've got to wrap up with you on this. What do you want to see, and have we seen the last of this group?
No, you haven't seen the last of this group. But let me start from what I want to see. I want to see you and hear you every day on your program and your colleagues and Media General talk about the Red Band Brigade, the Red Band protest. I think you, the media, you have a role. You should push this. Don't only look for sensationalism. This is very, very important. You must blast it out there so that every people would support this red band protest that we have initiated, and it will continue. You know, I have a challenge. I have a little challenge.
Tell me about it.
Forget the forest reserves, the rivers. What stops government from issuing a dictum that all rivers in this country is a no-go area and policing it? If you are not able to do that, then it means law and order is breaking down. And that takes me to Colombia. You see, Colombia is now controlled by the drug cartels. And that's what's going to happen in Ghana if you're not careful. The galamsey cartels are going to control portions of this country. Who says, for instance, that as we speak here, as we speak right now, the galamsey cartel has not already funded a cohort of MPs on both sides of the aisle to go into parliament? And they will now dictate to them what they should do for policy, which affects all of us. This matter, this thing is a serious threat to the entire country, to our governance, to our economy, to our people, and to our survival. And I would wish that everybody would see it that way. And I would ask the press, all you big guys in the press, to push it, to push this agenda, because government can deal with this problem. And we all know that there are some big guns behind this menace. And once you go for those big guns, the people in the rivers, in the forest, those boys, will disappear. Even if they don't disappear, the damage they'll cause will be very minimal. You understand me? So we need everybody to come along and deal with this canker. It is killing us. Doctors have sent me pictures that I cannot show you, you know, and I cannot put on social media, etc. 20-week-old fetus fits in a kidney bowl. And a kidney bowl is the size of my palm in a galamsey area. What kind of legacy is that? You know, so practically, this is not, we are not being dramatic. We are not being alarmists. We are drawing attention to the problem that we have. Water is a finite resource. We have been blessed with water. Look around you worldwide in Ghana. All villages and towns were founded around water bodies. And even then, 200 years ago, we said our ancestors were illiterate and they were bush. But they protected the water bodies. And they said the water bodies have gods. So they have to rest. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever, depending on where you come from, you don't go and fish. Because they knew that the ecosystem has to stay balanced and the water bodies have to be protected. And yet, in the 21st century, under SDG goals, with an educated elite, educated government, educated parliament, council of state, we are damaging the water bodies. And what pains me the most is that the council of state has not made a statement, a public statement on this matter. Even the Peace Council, I haven't heard that. Maybe they have, but I haven't heard it. And Parliament must speak. Okay. The judiciary must speak as a body. Everybody must speak. This is not partisan. How can we see? This is our life. This is our lives at stake. So my parting words to you, the media, is support the red band protest. And my parting word to the people is that our lives, all of us collectively, our lives are in danger. This is not politics. Anybody who thinks it's politics, so be it. But it's not politics. Your life is at stake. Wear the red band, wear a red shirt, carry a red handbag. Support this campaign so that government is pressured to act resolutely to solve this problem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frank Braku Edu. He's a former managing director of Cal Bank and also a leading member of the Coalition Against Galamsey. Earlier on, you heard Senor Hoshi there, also a leading member of the group. You're still watching Business Focus, your most authoritative business and economic analysis program. We'll take a short break.
This is Business Focus with the award-winning Parkway CSRA.
Brown new phone. I met him in an and I communicate. Bluetooth. If I read, fridge, dining table, cooler. You're feeling lunch.
Vivian ship. What a pedal account. Why? Pelande or easily go my.
Making money shouldn't be this hard. Just reload and win cash in the Telecel More Money promo. Win daily and weekly when you reload your mobile and broadband bundles. You can win up to 30,000 Ghana cedis weekly or the 1 million Ghana cedi grand prize. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning in Telecel More Money promo.
Dial *500# or opt in on the Telecel Play app for free.
Telecel, connecting energies. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Explore the nature
and create from it. The spirit of inventors leads to the inspiration for new technology. By drawing nature's energy, we create the extraction tech. Small in size, huge in power. Millions of microcapsules condense the essence of nature. Join us, Clesoft Invent for Life.
This is the show that brings finality to all the critical issues. It is the stage where all the facts are checked, issues thoroughly interrogated, opinions shaped, and debates settled. But over here, we do more than just talk. We resolve problems. We hold those in power accountable. We address all the key happenings in society, from politics to health to education to everything you deem important. And we will center the voice of the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the show that sets the agenda.
Agenda shows Mondays at 9 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between.
On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamsi.
Ghana Tonight shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Right, welcome back to Business Focus. Now, Ghana's crude oil production has been on a steady decline over the past 4 years, raising concerns about its economic implications. Now, according to the Public Interest and Accountability Committee's 2023 annual report, production decreased by 6.78% in 2023 alone. That's contributing to an average annual decline of 9.2% during this period. Now, the three primary oil fields in Ghana, the Jubilee, 10 and Sankofa Ginyami fields, have been unable to maintain consistent production levels. Jubilee, the oldest of the three, began operations in 2010, followed by 10 and SGN in subsequent years. Now, experts attribute the decline to a combination of data inaccuracies, insufficient investment, and suboptimal investment strategies. Now, to help us do an analysis of all this issues is Mr. Elinam, who's with PIAC. He joins us live on the phone lines. Richard Elima is a member of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. So this report about declining volumes in crude oil production did not begin today. Why has it become a topical matter for you?
Thank you very much. I think it's become a topical issue because for 4 years running, we have seen a consistent drop in production levels. If you check the graph from 2010 December, when we started production, up to 2023, when we collected the last data, you realize that every year we get some inconsistencies. Some years the production levels go up, some years they drop. But this is the first time where we have had a consistent drop in production levels for 4 years. And if you look at the outlook, it appears we may experience further drops in the years to come. And that is why we are very concerned, and we are asking all Ghanaians to also show some level of concern.
Do you attribute, reasons of data inaccuracies as being one of the reasons for it? What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, the operators of our industry provide data, and our regulators also provide data. And the industry thrives on data. If an investor will come into the country to invest in the oil business, it will depend on the data that is made available to them. And we have had cases where the data that is provided to these investors don't tend to be accurate. They are not accurate. And they lead to some losses on the part of investors. And that is why some of them don't even want to come in and invest in the first place. So that is how serious it is. So going forward, we have asked government through the Ministry of Energy to remain consistent and make sure we get credible data which we can then provide to our investors who will then come into the country to invest.
You've got a technical consultative workshop coming up. What exactly do you seek to achieve?
Yes, after analyzing the data for 2023 and realizing that for the fourth consecutive year we are experiencing further drops in our oil production, the Department of Petroleum Engineering of the KNUST invited PIAC. We did a presentation, and at that point it became clear that it is not only PIAC that is concerned, but the KNUST was also concerned. And then the idea of holding a consultative forum came up, that why don't we bring together all the key stakeholders in our petroleum industry so that we think through ways of analyzing why we are having these drops in production, and then think of innovative ways of increasing production levels to sustain our economic development. That is the primary motivation behind the organization of this forum.
My final question to you, Mr. Richard Elima, before I let go of you now, beyond a possible decline in Ghana's share of oil revenue, what are the other possible ramifications of the continuous decline in crude oil production?
I think the most serious one has to do with a reduction in petroleum revenues. Last year, we had a little over $1 billion coming into the economy from petroleum revenue. 2 years ago, we had about 1.4 billion, 2022, 1.4 billion, which was our highest petroleum revenue. And if you think that some of government's flagship programs hinge on petroleum revenues, then you should be concerned. So, for instance, the free SHS program is partly funded by petroleum revenue. The Agenda 111 hospital projects, which is the government's flagship health intervention, it is also partly funded by petroleum revenues. So when we have cases where petroleum revenues keep dropping, then it is going to imperil government's ability to provide these essential services to the people of Ghana and the wider economy as a whole.
I've got to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Richard Elima, as a member of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on Business Focus, your most authoritative business and economic analysis program. Thanks very much to my producers, Ebenezer, and of course, Shadrach and the entire team. Of course, also to the directors, Richie and all of you. Thank you very much for your time. We're streaming live on Facebook, also live on your DSTV channel 279. My name is Parkwisi Asari. Have a good day.